Raúl. Ok. Quita esa mesa de ahí, ponla aquí arriba. Ok, creo que ya estamos live, estamos en directo. Amigos, muy buenas noches. Hello everybody, this is Latin Flavors, the Latinx culture. Ya hasta se me está olvidando el nombre, comentamos muy rápido. I want to welcome everybody. Hola a todos, el día de hoy estoy bien emocionada porque tenemos casa llena. We have a lot of people who is here tonight to talk about Brazil. Brasil está presente en Casa Teatro. Bienvenidos, welcome. Que se escuche. Hello a todos. Okay. Los vamos a ir presentando. I'm going to introduce you one by one. Oh, I'm going to let Felipe introduce you because Felipe knows you better. Felipe, gracias. Thank you very much for saying yes, and thank you for inviting all these wonderful people to this program. Gracias for being with Casa Teatro and be part of Flavors of the Latinx culture. Muchas gracias, Felipe. Bienvenido.
Muchas gracias. I'm going to talk in English so to make sure everyone understands. Voy a hablar en español, en inglés. ¿Puede ser, Mónica?
Sí. Por favor.
Yeah. So today we have Elias, Natalia, Gerson, and Derek with us en nuestra casa. Elías y Natalia vivían en Jackson. Elías vive aún en Jackson. Natalia ahora vive en Texas. Derek y Gerson viven en Memphis. Y la mayoría de nosotros somos de Rio Grande do Sul. Derek es de São Paulo. Elías de Gerson de Rio Grande do Sul. Y Natalia Santa Catarina, ¿verdad, Natalia? Are you from Santa Catarina?
Santa Catarina y Brasília.
In Brasilia, yeah. So I used to hang out with Elias in Jackson all the time, and we exchange a lot of information about Brazil. Every time I talk to Derek, I always have a lot of good information about Brazil. He's been obviously living there his whole life. He just moved to Memphis now about a year ago. Gerson is a pastor here in Memphis. He knows a lot of people in the area, and he also knows a lot about the Brazilian culture. He is extremely Brazilian. He was eating some churrasco before we were having the time. So.
Yeah, I had to quit that for a good cause. Yeah.
And Natalia, she is from, let's just say, Santa Catarina, which is a beautiful part of Brazil. And she's also from Brasilia, which is the capital. So she has a lot of good information. So you guys can introduce yourself a little bit better. Natalia, ladies first. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Natalia. I live in San Antonio, Texas now. And I'm from Santa Catarina. I was born there, but I moved when I was young to Brasilia. I am a school teacher here in Texas, and that's about it.
Elias, what you got?
All right, so I'm Elias, or in American, as American used to say, Elias. They both work. I've been living in Jackson for about a year so far, I think. Yeah, that's all right. I'm here doing grad school in agriculture. Stuff I will let Felipe tell you about.
Gerson.
Okay. My name is Gerson Garros em português, or Gerson in español. Entonces, Gershon in Hebrew, and I'm going to stop here. I've been living with my family, my wife, Denise, and my two kids, Guilherme and Georgia, here in Memphis for 3.5 years. I'm from the southern part of Brazil, a city called Porto Alegre, the land of the Gauchos. It is a part of the country where we have so many similarities with Argentinian and Uruguayan culture. The barbecue that we eat, we call churrasco. Also, the drink that we have there, mate. But we may be talking about this later on. So I just want to say hi to all of you, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. And Derek, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Derek. I'm from São Paulo, actually from a city close to São Paulo, named is Atibaia. It's 40 minutes from São Paulo, so it's a little bit countryside. I moved to Memphis a year and a half ago with my wife. She was here already, and I'm in a residency program at a very small church here in Memphis. The name is East Side Community Church, and I'm one of the residents there. And my wife, yeah, she's not here around. I thought that she would be, but she will come later.
Welcome to Memphis.
Thank you.
Monica, introduce yourself a little bit to us, please. To Natalia. I know Adorimar is also with us. You're on mute.
You are muted, sorry.
We can't hear you, Monica.
Now, sorry, I have to mute for 1 second so I can hear everybody. I'm the artistic director of Casa Teatro. This program is especially for us to introduce different cultures, different flavors, like the name said. And really, we're thankful that you guys took the time to come and talk about Brazil, because people might have some ideas and cliches about Brazil, about the culture. And it's great. I learn a lot when I bring people from another country and they start talking about their traditions, about their food, about their own country. And right now I'm learning a couple of things, but let's keep going. Let's keep talking about Brazil so everybody know more about this beautiful country. Who wants to start? Who wants to be the first to talk something about Brazil? Because
I think
may I say something? When we talk about Brazil, one thing we need to keep in mind is that Brazil is a very large country. And if you ask about the culture of Brazil, we got to be very careful and also respectful, because there are so many things in the southern part of Brazil, for instance, they're not really are not common, I would say, at the coast or the north. So it's really almost like a continent, and this is the beauty. I think this is something nice about Brazil, the variety, diversity of culture, and even the way we speak our own language. We all speak Portuguese, but there's so many different accents and food. So I would say that the first thing we need to think about Brazil is to be flexible when you think about culture. There's no one single thing that will. Very few things, I would say, will be common all over the country, besides, of course, the language. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's important, because in every country, for what I learned, sometimes close to the, let's say, if people live close to the beach, it's one thing. People who lives in the mountains, and sometimes they're surprised there's mountains in this country. Yes, there are. Something that you say about the place where you come from, about sharing some similarities to another country that people, I didn't know about the food, like the churrasco, about the people, the tradition, the mate. If I hear mate, I'm thinking about people from Argentina. Never I will think about people from Brazil.
That's a funny thing about it. And in the South, especially the state that I come from, but also Santa Catarina, where Nadia, I cannot read it. Natalia, sorry. I need my glasses here. Sorry, Natalia. Yeah, we share a common tradition because remember, South America was conquered by two nations, Spain and Portugal. And the southern part of Brazil, there were times in which the south belonged to Spain, other times belonged to Portugal, and then Spain again was kind of back and forth. And because of that, there was a lot of influence of Spanish culture in the South, and we kind of create a similar culture in the South with our food, with even our language, our accent, and some words that we use in the South that people in the North may not even recognize, but the Argentinians and Uruguayans, they will know. And one of those things is really the mate, which is a drink. I'm going to ask my wife to bring over here. Denise, traz mate para mim aqui. This is a tea that we learned from the native South Americans, the Guaranis, which is a tribe, an Indian tribe. And you'll see this all over the southern part of South America. But if you go more towards the center of Brazil or even Paraguay, here it is. They will also drink this. However, I don't know if you guys know, have experienced this, but they drink cold. We drink very hot and bitter. And the states like Mato Grosso or Goiás, they also drink this, but cold, sometimes with lemon. So
like a sweet tea. Like the sweet tea in the South.
They call tereré. Tereré. But it's the same. Yeah, it's the same tea, the same kind of tree, taken from the same tree, the same plant. So that's one thing about Brazil, the similarity with other nations around, especially in the South. Yeah.
Okay. One of the things is that people say, you also mentioned and say, well, why is that they speak Portuguese if they're in Latin America? And sometimes they say, are they Hispanic? Are they Latinos? What? And sometimes people even ask me how to refer a person of Brazil. So how can you explain, guys, this so everybody know what is it? You just say it a little bit about the Brazil being conquered from people from Portugal, but can anybody else get into this situation? Because a lot of people get confused and they don't know how to. Let's see. Who say me? Raise your hand so you can talk. I don't want Harrison to be the only one to talk. I want to give the chance to everybody else to get into this. Tell me. Nobody. I'm gonna do like in the school. I'm gonna start pointing fingers and say, Elias, now to the corner.
I was answering Elias, so I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat?
Okay,
please?
let's talk more about the situation with the language, because sometimes people say, "How is the Brazil? Are they Latinos? What can we call them Hispanos? Can we? How is possible they speak Portuguese, but they're still being Latinos?" So sometimes people get confused about this.
Yes. So whenever they do that question all the time for me, if they don't have the option Latino, I don't mark it Spanish because we are not from a Spanish colony. So yes, this depends on you. Some people go ahead and mark it. And sometimes people ask me, okay, but you are Hispanic. And I said, no, the country I'm from speak Portuguese, so I'm not Hispanic. So I'll be considered Latino. So that's the difference. So that's why I usually recommend having both things, Latino and Hispanic.
But one thing that, like say, there's some places, there's some small towns. They some people speak Spanish. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
No.
Yeah. So
I would say
then
in
I'm
the border.
wrong.
Yeah. There's only one language basically in Brazil, which is Portuguese. And like I said, people living on the borders with other countries, of course, they pick up a few words and can even speak. Like everybody in the border with Mexico will learn a few words in Spanish. But indeed, Spanish is not a language in Portuguese in Brazil. It's just Portuguese, and the reason being, we were colonized by Portugal, not by Spain. So Natalia's right. We're not Hispanics in that sense, even though we are Latinos because we're all from Latin America. So.
Okay.
Whenever you have to fill it up a form when they ask you like, are you Hispanic or Latino? I always question myself like, who I am. Like, I don't fit anywhere.
I think if you're in Latin America, well, everybody is Latino. That's the only thing. Your
Presentation that we've come up. I think that is one of the slides. I don't know if I have skipped that one or not. It might have the division, like the first division from Brazil, and that was the Tordesillas Street, and then there was when Spain and Portugal have split South America both sides, and then Portugal got the east and Spain got the west, and that usually used to end in a beach in Santa Catarina called Laguna. And then further on, when Portugal realizes that Spain got a bigger piece of the continent, they kind of started to negotiate again, and then they got Rio Grande do Sul, which is South Brazil, back to the Portugal side, and that's why we have like such a big influence on Spain of our Spanish culture in our state, but also that comes all the way from the Indians and all that people that was back there when before the colonization, like all the market culture, it was all there, and all that region was dominated by just like almost like a very similar tribe, and that's how it got more homogenized. All those how people say like our practice.
okay. One of the things usually people, when you hear about the word Brazil, about the country Brazil, they have immediately Carnaval comes to their mind. But I think there's more than that. There is a lot of things that we don't know. I don't know that I would like to learn because it's either Carnival or the Amazons or the river. Those two things are the ones that always come to your mind when you hear the word Brazil. But I would like you guys to tell us more because I'm sure there's a lot of things that we're missing and we have to learn. Let's see. Let's leave Derek right now and tell us a little bit more about Brazil. Something else that maybe we don't know about Brazil. Tell us.
don't know. Well, I don't know about something that nobody knows, but I'm from São Paulo. Very different culture than down in the south. But I feel that it's a real mixture of all the different cultures in Brazil because a lot of people came from all the regions from Brazil. Because of work in the past, it was a region very prosper and with a lot of jobs. So people would see Sao Paulo as a state with a lot of opportunities. And I think the good side of it is that when people ask me what is something unique that we in Sao Paulo, and we don't have it. It's like we have a little bit of every part of Brazil. We don't have something that is ours. So we take from every state from Brazil a little bit, and it's who we are. Our accent is very different than other states. Probably Felipe and the guys from the south, they can realize if I speak in Portuguese, you could notice how different we talk. We don't drink mate. A few people that migrated from the south, they drink, but it's not our thing. Our region in Brazil is known for milk and coffee in history. So our drink would be coffee, not mate. What else? The city that I came from.
And orange juice.
Orange juice.
Orange juice also, yeah. Orange
Yeah,
juice.
orange
Brazil
juice.
is the largest
That's right.
producer of orange juice, and most of it comes from Sao Paulo. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
All
it's.
right. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think there's nothing unique, but it's nice to realize now that I'm not in my culture that we are a really real mixture of all that is good from Brazil. But I like mate.
It's a big thing that people from São Paulo don't do. That's different from South. They don't put ketchup to the pizza.
That's true. It's very offensive in São Paulo. Yeah.
Something.
Okay.
But your question, Marisa, regarding the stereotypes, I think every culture, every country, there's always something that stands up. And it doesn't mean that everybody practice or experience that. It just natural, right? So people think about Brazil, okay, Carnival and samba and the Amazon. Um, but we like those things. Carnival is an example of our culture, of our creativity. Um, Not everybody in Brazil loves Carnival as everybody will think outside of Brazil. I grew up in an environment that Carnival was not really part of my upbringing. So that's something that people say about Brazil that doesn't really match with my own what I appreciate. But and also Amazon. I've never been to Amazon. It's so far away from where I live. But it's Brazil, and we're proud of those things. But this is common. I mean, when I was in Brazil, when I was a kid, when you think about America, I will think about a cowboy. I mean, and then I went to live in Wisconsin and then South Dakota, and there was no cowboys there. So it's common, right? It's common. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the things also that people know about Brazil is about soccer. My mom says never talk about politics in soccer with anybody because you are not gonna agree. But I think we need to talk about soccer here because it's something that is. I think you have it in your veins. It's also part of the culture, not just for all the Latinos, but for people of Brazil. And I think you always do a great job in cada mundial. You guys, you're always there. There's no way you can miss Brazil. It's always
No, we're
there.
the only country that has been to all the Copas do Mundo. We're the only one that have been. We may not be doing very well all the time, but we have 7-1 in our back. Temos 7-1 nuestras espaldas, para carregar por muitos años. Pero siempre estivemos lá.
Well, let me tell you something. This is something personal. I have a cousin. My uncle named her Brasilia just because Brazil won in that year. It was the only reason my poor cousin now is named Brasilia because
Really?
you guys won el mundial en ese año. I don't remember. So there's so many, but it was I think the 70s or something like that. So
Good choice.
Hey, Monica, sorry. In the beginning of the live here, I had some internet connections. Now I finally got my computer working. So sorry about that.
No.
And this is a good topic about sports. I'm actually studying sports right now, and I like how the sports can give a lot of opportunities to people. In Brazil, a lot of kids come from bad parts of Brazil, and they, because of their sport, because of their talent, and they can play soccer, they are able to succeed. And that's something that I really like here about America. They put a lot of emphasis on sports and college and in your education. So that's something that I see progressing in Brazil. I think slowly we're going to be able to go for a better future here. But that's something that I've realized is that a lot of soccer players come from bad parts of Brazil. And because of sport, they are able to make a living and stay out of trouble. So that's something that I like how Brazil puts a lot of emphasis on soccer.
That is good. That's the best thing to do for the young kids or los jóvenes is to induce them to sports, to let them get themselves into something that is healthy, that is good, and they might not be a professionals, like big soccer players, but that helps Being in sports like the arts is always something good.
Yeah.
Now, my dear friends, I'm going to ask you a really, really good question. What do you miss about Brazil? Oh, look at that. We have a PowerPoint. Thank you. Who did the PowerPoint? Raise your hand. No one?
Natalia
Natalia.
Nice job.
And Elias started, and then I just touch up.
Okay, well, between you and Elias, you're going to explain us about the PowerPoint, about what we have here. Let's see. Okay,
Well,
there we go.
So actually, the PowerPoint is like some features that we can pick up on comments, and everybody can share more about each experience that they have. As in the beginning, I would like just to say like how cool it is to have that much diversity in Brazil, which is true. Like, and we have soccer, we have like different people from everywhere, and from south to north, different features. And I think I kind of like to split over in regions. So like if we go to Mexico, you're gonna have like northeast and then north and then center regions. We can bring up topics about each of that.
Okay. Let's I can see. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Come on, baby. Okay. We have. Oh, what is that? This is a dance. It's a typical dance or something. I see people like in a fiesta. They see. So no.
São João.
Playas.
Oh, okay. This is a celebration, and it happens in the middle of June or July. This is more like well, southeast and northern part of Brazil, but it's also celebrated all over the country. Yeah. It's a party that celebrates San Juan, and there's a lot of games that people play, and fireworks and typical foods. I don't know where this really actually started, but it's very popular all over the country. More common in the Northeast, with like something like square dancing, that type of dance. So it's a very fun, very good party. Yeah, we decorate the places with little flags, colorful flags, as you can see there. San Juan.
Where are the pictures from? Where are the other pictures from by the beach there? Elias and Natalia, Derek, you guys know where the? I know one is Fernando de Noronha, right? The little one there on the right. And then what about the bottom ones? It must be somewhere up north.
So that's all the beaches from our is. Fernando de Noronha, which is, I think it's one of 7 most beautiful in the world, something like that. If it's not, it should be. Also, we have a picture from the Pelourinho and Salvador that's on top.
Salvador.
And then we have to Lençóis Maranhenses, which is like some areas that flowed with the ocean, and they kind of remain that for a while. So we have like that picture in the middle. The other one is Jericoacoara. Is a small city with a small beach that's becoming becoming more popular. You can see it's one of the only beaches in Brazil that you can see the sunset. At the ocean, and also I think the one is called Galinhas. I'm a bad Brazilian. I haven't traveled that much in Brazil, so I don't know any of those places. But I know they're beautiful, and people usually like to talk about. And you probably have been all over the places.
Yeah, Monica, the northeast part of Brazil is so pretty. If you ever have some time and some money to go there after coronavirus, I'll highly recommend you going there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
To the north.
To know places, because you say, well, I want to travel to this country, but sometimes you don't know the places you're supposed to go and visit and really enjoy. Things that are really something that you have to know, places that you have to visit. And of course, we have I'm sure that's the Rio Amazon, is the Amazon River. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, yes. This is the Amazon, and that's a place where two different rivers come together. O Rio Negro and Rio Solimões, right?
Yeah.
And they are, I mean, they have two different colors, and that's a place where they mix. It's a very beautiful place. Again, I've never been there, but that's part of the Amazon area. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that when they meet each other, they also do like that kind of that wave that's called Pororoca? I might be messing that up with another area.
Pororoca is when the Amazon meets the ocean.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's Pororoca.
Right.
Yeah. Esse é o encontro das águas.
So,
as you can see, in Brazil, we have a lot of diversity and a lot of different cultures. Look, you just saw by the ocean, some pictures by the ocean there. Now you see some a little wild animals here. So it's a big diversity, even like the style of living and even where Derek's from in São Paulo, it's more like a business oriented, with more opportunities. So that's something I really like about Brazil, how there's a lot of different cultures and a lot of different backgrounds in just one country.
yeah, so that is so the area before is like the center area, which is much more flat. The kind of vegetation we call it cerrado. I don't actually know in English, and it's being very much explored about agriculture right now, and they are like, and that makes Brazil one of the top soybean producers in the world. All the areas becoming developed in the last years, and that's much more about agriculture. But also you have other floating areas which is pretty cool, and they have a lot of animals and wildlife that still lives out there.
And
You're on mute, Natalia.
You're on mute.
okay. And here I did a little slide about both of them together because Goiás and Distrito Federal. Distrito Federal is where Brasilia is, and after this slide, I have another one just specific about Brasilia. And Goiás, you have many, many different nice places to go.
Let's see. Okay.
Brasilia was built to be the capital. Before that, Rio de Janeiro was, but the president at that time, he decided to move to the middle of the country so it wouldn't be in the coast in case there was an invasion or something like that. So they built it, and those are some of the things that people like to go to see. The cathedral, it's very nice inside, and the Three Power Plaza, and the bridge, the JK Bridge, which was the president that built Brasilia. Anybody has anything? Elias, you have anything to add up on Brasilia?
I was going to ask. There are some theories of why the capital was built in the middle of the country, and there's the official version, and then the extra official, unofficial version.
The non-official.
Yeah, I know the official version. I don't know the non-official.
Yeah, one is to be away from people. If you're a bad politician, you're gonna be away from where people are. So in the beginning, that was another thing. I was told that this was a way to develop that part of Brazil that was not developed in sense of population. So that's why Brasilia was built right in the geographical middle of the country. There was absolutely nothing there when they start building.
Even the lake right there, it was actually built too.
Man-made, yeah.
They made.
Yeah, they transport everything that they needed to build Brasilia. They transport from São Paulo and all those regions by plane because there was like no factories or anything there.
Yeah, and if you go on an airplane when you're landing, you can see that Brasilia was supposed to be the airplane made like an airplane. You still can see the wings, but now the city is growing so much that it's kind of messed it up already. But it was built to be like an airplane kind of style. So where the Three Power Plaza is supposed to be the body of the plane.
How big is Brasilia now?
I'm not 100% sure, but it's big. It's not big. Brazil itself is not that big, but the metropolis is big. So up here, I went there 2 years ago, and here's the pictures of me and my friends. We went to the Chapada Veadeiros. The most beautiful place I've been was Santa Barbara. The water, it is that color when you get there. And the guy told me there was a reason for it. And the walk wasn't that long. I don't like walking too much. But, I mean, that was worth every minute, okay? It was beautiful. And
It looks
Poland,
like.
it was nice. It was really nice. And swimming there was amazing. And there's actually my pictures. And the other one was corals. Corals, it's harder to get to it. You have a lot of rocks. And if you go home after that, you'll be sore. It's like 1.5 hour jumping rocks. So you're going to have some preparation for that.
And have an extra day just to get over your soreness and
and I did a
pain.
mistake. The guy that took us, he said, let's go to Corals first. And we did. And the next day we had to go to Santa Barbara. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Anyways.
But it's beautiful. It looks beautiful. The pictures are beautiful.
Yeah, now is the perfect time for Derek, because Derek's from this area now, from São Paulo. So if you don't mind, Derek, sharing a little bit background, how is it living in the big city? So São Paulo is like a Brazilian New York City. He doesn't live in São Paulo capital, but he lives in some different areas. So Derek, if you don't mind sharing some thoughts about how is the life in São Paulo?
Yeah, so that's funny. I didn't knew that this picture would be here with the bridge. The company that I used to work is in this building right behind this bridge, the one with the glasses, blue glasses. So it's funny to see this picture here. Yeah, it's a huge city, and I think when I got here in Memphis, people said that Memphis is a dangerous city. It's one of the highest in the rank of violence in the U.S. But I was raised going to São Paulo, having friends in São Paulo, and my concept of what is dangerous and what is violent, it's totally different than in an American culture. So when we try to explain to our friends here what is the reality in São Paulo, they get impressed. A few things. My commute every day was 2.5 hours each way. So literally, I would spend 5 hours traveling just to work. Wow. And I have friends here that complain about a 30-minute commute. And say, you are blessed. 30 minutes would be a dream for me in São Paulo. Violence. Here, I'm not scared walking with my phone at night. I don't mind stopping in a traffic light at night. In Brazil, in São Paulo, after 10, the traffic lights are off because they don't want you to stop because it's dangerous. Somebody can rob you. So that's the violent, the mass aspect of São Paulo. But it's also one thing that I miss from São Paulo is the diversity of food. I could get any kind of food from every country in the world in the same neighborhood. It's not a reality in Memphis. Maybe you have a few restaurants, but it's not that there's not so many options. Also, you can hear a lot of language in São Paulo. You can hear people speaking Spanish, English, French, a lot of people from Asia. So it's people, I think, here in Memphis don't understand diversity as we know it in São Paulo. Also, the amount of big companies in the city, it's overwhelming. So what I said about my commute, it's very normal for companies to hire private buses to take you from your house and drive you to work because the traffic is so crazy that they don't want you to be stressed when you get to work. And it's safer if they are responsible for transportation. To try
That's
to explain
nice.
this, yeah, it's nice, but try to explain this for somebody that lives here in Memphis. It's not something they can understand. Uh,
It's different.
yeah. Also in Memphis, we are 6, 7 hours from the beach. If you live in Sao Paulo, you are 1 hour and a half from a beach. So you can literally go morning on Saturday, spend the day at the beach, and go back to your house. Here, I need to plan a whole weekend or a whole week trip if I want to go to the beach. Also, if you want to go to the mountains, you are 1 hour and a half from the mountains. And here in Memphis, I'm 4 or 5 hours from the mountains. So
Wow.
it's a diversity of cultures, of options, of places to work, places to visit, cultures to know. Like the countryside where I 40 minutes from Sao Paulo, you have a huge Italian colony, and you can eat real Italian food, drink real authentic wines,
Oh,
or you have a huge Portuguese colony and a German colony in the south that you can eat really authentic German food. So yeah, I think that's something in specifically from Sao Paulo. I would say that it's abundance of options in all the aspects that you can imagine.
Yeah, São Paulo is a very huge city. It's so beautiful. And if we ever have a chance to go, Monica and anybody else is watching us, you should definitely go. Or you can always reach out to Derek for some more advice here.
more points to visit. It's amazing what you say that you can find food for another countries and authentic food, like you say, the Italian, German food. In my life, can imagine. I say if I go to Brazil, it's gonna be just like the classic authentic
Yeah,
Brazilian food and maybe
yeah,
some American food.
yeah.
But find
São
it
Paulo,
Italian and German
yeah. São Paulo is also known for be a large Japanese
community.
colony community, and so you have a whole neighborhood in São Paulo downtown area that you can buy everything from Japan or China. It's kind of a Chinatown from that you have in New York. We have one in São Paulo, so you can also eat authentic Chinese or Japanese food, and again, it's the variety and the beauty of diversity in the city.
Derek, I was told that São Paulo has the largest concentration of Japanese outside of Japan. Is that right?
Yeah, is that right? Yeah,
What?
Yeah. The largest concentration of Japanese folks outside of Japan is in the city of São Paulo.
Wow.
So they don't have a Chinatown; they have a Japanese town.
The Japanese. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Wow,
Verdade, right?
that's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, let's
Yeah, now I was gonna talk about Rio a little bit. I know everyone loves Rio, and that's my favorite place in the world. People say it's really dangerous. Yeah, it might be. It's dangerous right now, but it's an amazing place. You just land there. The energy of Rio, it's amazing. I lived in New Zealand. I live in different countries, but Rio is my favorite place in the world. Up there, there's some pictures of Cabo Frio, which a lot of people love to go. I never been there myself, but I did went to the Park of Redeemer and the Sugarloaf. It's really nice. Also, all the beaches there are beautiful too. Now, if you go there, you need to be careful. Don't be walking around with jewelry or cell phone. But I went there a few times, never got robbed. but you're just gonna have to watch your surroundings. Don't be alone all the time, you know. But it's a very nice place to go. Very nice place.
Oh, look at that.
Gerson, this is your turn, Gerson. Elias,
Yeah.
time to shine.
This is the southern part of Brazil.
Wow.
In these pictures, we are seeing that we are divided in 5 regions. So these pictures are from the south region, and here we have the Iguazu Falls, the border with Argentina. This is one of the most beautiful waterfalls that we know. I mean, you can see it from the pictures from movies. The other picture is another waterfall. This is in my state. This is in a German colony or area a city called Gramado in Canela. Yes. And the other picture on the far right is the same. I think is the same, Gramado.
Yeah, it's Gramado.
There are two, when people go to Brazil, there are the two main places they go to. They either go to the beaches in the northeast in Rio, and the third place they go is to the south, this kind of German type of city. Lots of flowers. They take very good care of the nature there, and so it's a place where you can get some snow once in a while. I mean, last week there was
Wait,
snow.
hold on 1 second. What do you mean is snow in Brazil?
No, more than
That's a
no.
good
We hardly see
question.
snow here, right? But this picture here on the far right, if I'm correct, this is Gramado. They had snow there. So we talk about diversity. In the southern part of Brazil, we do have snow, not only in this area, but in the mountains, we do have a little bit. It doesn't last longer than 2 or 3 hours, but we do have. So it's almost like Memphis, I would say, yeah.
It lasts a little bit, but I never imagined snow in Brazil.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you something, Monica. That for me, I feel that the winter is worse in Brazil than here, and I lived in South Dakota, which is pretty cold, and Wisconsin, also lots of snow. But everywhere you go, you have air conditioner. You have the nice play everywhere you go. Your car and everything is always air conditioning. So in Brazil, not that many houses, especially in the south where we live, have air conditioning. So the same jacket that I use outside, I need to use inside my house. So here you can wear t-shirts all day, all year long, because of the control of the climate in your house. But there it is different. Oh, look at that!
Look that meat! Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Elias
from the south.
Elias in his city, or obviously in our state, Rio Grande do Sul, we have a lot of meat. And I actually been to Elias' house before, and he has a fire, right? A fire inside the house. They have wood. Elias, can you share with us what do you guys do exactly?
Oh yeah, and Jackson can help me here. So Southern barbecue is totally different from the other parts of the country because we actually do in a fireplace that's a little bit taller. It's not in the floor, and we hang the meat over the fire, and it goes inside of that sword. So that's how it's hanging on. And it tastes delicious. If you ever been to Texas, Brazil, or other restaurants such as Fogo de Chão, I think they do some similar work. I would not say that it's pretty much the same because it's not. You're gonna have to go all the way to try that out. But that's a way that you can do, and then keep talking about like Amado, which is the area that you were seeing before. There is also a lot of wine that's produced over there. Also, you can go to South Brazil and enjoy waterfalls and do some different sports. Go to the beach. And the small picture is from Gerson City.
Yeah, Porto Alegre.
Which is a pretty cool city. I like a lot Porto Alegre. My brother lives there right now. So I really do have a good time whenever I'm there.
Yeah.
Hey, where is that, Natalia? Where are those pictures at now? So Porto Alegre, what else, Natalia?
That slide was Elias, so I'm not sure. Probably Guardas. Is Guardas Elias?
The big one is Guarda do Embaú, which is in Santa Catarina. The one in the bottom is the same waterfall from before at Canela. And the other two are in waterfalls that is a little bit in the country area from the mountains. They have like also mountains. Is a city called Nova Roma do Sul, and they have these conditions where you can do like rafting, you can do rappel, you can do this kind of sports over there. So it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. You can even camping in that area.
Yeah, I have a question for Derek. So I don't even know. I'm Brazilian. I don't even know this answer. But is the beach by the northeast the same as like the beach by São Paulo? Because you say there's like just an hour away beach from your house.
Mm-hmm.
How different are the beaches from like up north? It's a paradise than like in São Paulo. Is São Paulo really, is there like a beach stay, or is it mainly just like businesses, or what's the difference?
It's hard to compete with the beaches in the north Brazil because they are just unique, and the ocean, it's beautiful. But you have a few spots that are also like you can have pretty pictures, good time at the beach. There's a few places that are known to be a good spot for surfing or other water sports, but I can be wrong, but I don't think the beaches around São Paulo can compete with the ones in the north. Definitely, they are beautiful, and they have good water and stuff. But when you look the pictures of what you have in the north, it's hard to. If you're honest, we need to be honest and say, yeah, we don't have this beauty here in São Paulo.
Yeah, Monica up north is so beautiful. That is a Santa Catarina, right?
Rio Grande do Sul. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Rio Grande do Sul. Sorry, I just read Santa Catarina there.
Okay.
So here I'm going to talk about a little bit of the main cities there. I mean, there's some nice places around those big cities, but the one on the bottom there, it's Joinville, with the little, how I say it, the German style city. It was colony of Germany. If you go there, there is a lot of little houses that look German. People even speak German sometimes there, actually. Some little places, but it's good for the food, and I'll talk about it later. And the other one is Florianopolis, on the top of the big bridge. People love Florianopolis. It's pretty good. I have family there. And the other one is Balneário Camboriú, which is, they call the Brazilian Dubai.
Oh!
So in Florianopolis, you have the Ilha do Campeche. It's beautiful. It's real nice. Matter of fact, my grandmother was raised there. And long time ago when I was a kid, nobody wanted to go there. I thought I was boring myself because it didn't have people. And nowadays, people are starting to explore more, and you have a lot of tourist people going there. The second picture is it was Lagoa da Conceição, and the other one is the natural pools, Barra da Lagoa.
Okay.
And that's Joinville I'm talking about. It's a German city. It has the biggest, it used to be the biggest dance festival in the world. I'm not sure if it still is, but yes. And you can go to the mountains close to Joinville, and it's really beautiful, real nice. All right, that we already talked about. I don't know why it's there again.
Because it's good. They repeat again. I'm gonna make a real small break. I want to say hello to Julia Costa. She said the most snow they've seen since the 70s. I think she's talking about when we were talking about snow in Brazil.
Yeah, last week had a lot of snow in Brazil, and maybe that's what she's referring to. We had never seen so much snow in Brazil as last week. And it was funny because 3 or 4 days ago was 0 or 1 degrees Celsius, and 3 days later was 27. I just talked to my parents today, so it's kind of a weird place. Change. It was colder here, warmer than here. In a matter of 3 days, it changed a lot. But she was talking about the snow, I believe, that we had last week. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The time is running out. So before we go, please. We have another message. This is Rafael Rocha. Brazil!
Brazil! Gold, Brazil!
Brother in the house.
Okay. I want you to tell us something quick, each one of you, about the food, because we didn't talk a lot about food, and I think that's one of the most important things when you go to a country. I want you, each one of you, to tell me your favorite plate from Brazil. That food that you miss, and sometimes you say, I just want to go back and have a plate of this. Let's start with Natalia. What's your favorite plate that you miss and you really like?
I love stroganoff. Brazilian stroganoff is a little bit, here they do too much stuff with it. I love stroganoff.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Gerson?
Well, the food that I miss the most is churrasco, but I try to to cook myself. But I want to say something about food that, one thing that I really miss are some of the fruits that I had in our area, and that I don't find here. And so I ordered 2 weeks ago. I ordered 2 plants come from Georgia, but are typical plants from Brazil. I'm gonna try see if I can I can grow these trees here, which is kaki or persimmon. It's one of them, and the other one we call ameixinha. It has nothing to do with ameixa plums, but it's so. Just to let you know that one of the things that I missed the most was to be able to go to my backyard and just grab an orange, tangerine. This is what I like, and I missed.
Yes, that's crazy. I just bought 3 trees: jabuticaba, mora, and fig.
Great. Give me your address, okay? Yeah. But the thing is that some of these things you can find in restaurants. You can almost find any kind of food nowadays in these supermarkets that we go to. But just going to your backyard and find the trees that you grow up with, I think this is what I miss the most. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Derek, tell us the food that you miss.
I miss a lot Brazilian barbecue, so I'm gonna get just some contact information.
Yeah. All right.
But I don't know. I also miss that because I grew up kind of in the countryside, so we had all the trees at our backyard, and so you could have these fresh fruits for free, or you could squish a juice in the morning. Here, I think it's more than a year that I don't have a fresh squeezed juice. It's like all in bottles. You cannot. And more specifically, Brazilian cheese. You can have all the kind of cheeses here, but it's very hard to find Brazilian cheese. And we have pretty good ones that are from the state. In Minas Gerais is in the top of the São Paulo state. And that's something that I still trying to find here, but I couldn't.
Okay. Elias.
So, to be brief, otherwise I will have a list and that's scared. I miss the most is churrasco as well, and pastel. I miss a lot of
pastel. Yeah.
Pastel, like the pastel. We say
it's pastel
to cake. Yeah,
pastel
because
is more like
pastel for us is cake.
Yeah, it's more like empanada. Yeah.
Empanada. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
What? Let's see, wow.
Hey, look at that.
Natalia, she's ready. She got her own pastel. Look at that. What about you, Felipe? Tell us.
Yeah, I think churrasco is also my main one, which is the barbecue. I really miss the Brazilian pasta too, pasta carbonara. I had a couple of restaurants that sold that. Pastelitos.
Those are pastelitos in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
They call it pastelitos.
Empanadas.
Yeah, it's so good.
Exactly.
It's so good. It's fried. It's fried, right? You're gonna say something, Gerson?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a place here in Memphis, the only place where you can buy authentic Brazilian pastéis. It's a food truck owned by two ladies from Chile. It's called Churrasco. It's a food truck, and they have pastel.
Give me the address, please.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is
Hard
it?
to find them. It's hard to find them. Yeah.
Very good one.
Dolimar, she loves el churrasco.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Hey, is
Well,
Texas de Brazil, Gerson? Is it Texas de Brazil close to the churrasco from Brazil or not? I think Texas de Brazil is so good, but is it the same or not?
I would say
Gerson's
70%.
son used to work at Texas
Yeah,
de Brazil.
my son used to work there at Texas de Brazil. It's too bad it is too expensive, $50. It is 70% typical. Of course, they have to adapt the flavor to the American taste, which is fine, understandable. And they never offer a chicken heart, which is a delicacy that we have in the South. And
I love
it
it.
is disgusting for American taste for some reason.
I think Natalia disappeared and she brings something.
She's gonna bring
the
chicken heart. Hey, look at that. Yeah, that's one thing. The chicken heart, I miss that. And the sausage that they offer there, it's not really Brazilian sausage. It's good, but not the one that we find in the South.
Authentic.
Yeah. I shouldn't complain. I would say 70% like ours. Yeah.
Okay. My friends,
But if
amigos,
it's gonna pay me, I go there. I enjoy it.
And pão de queijo. We can't forget pão de queijo.
Pão de queijo.
Yes.
Pão de queijo, very good one. Yeah.
And pão de queijo sells usually in grocery stores, in Kroger.
Kroger and Costco also they have, yeah.
well, then, and that way you can at least try to get some food here and prepare those delicious meals or those delicious dishes from your country, the closest as possible. I think what happened is what happened 25 years ago when I got here. There wasn't that many Mexican food, and you try to do the best what you have to try to put the flavor of your country. And I think you have a couple of choices to make it work. And the time is up, and I hate it. I hate this part because we just start getting into the conversation and talking about something that I really like, that is food. You can see that I love food. And I want to thank you, everybody. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Gracias por taking the time. Thank you, Felipe, for introducing us to these wonderful people who took the time to come and talk to us and teach us a little bit more about Brazil. I'm sure I'm going to ask you to come back later in the future to talk again, because there's too much. An hour is not enough. For a whole country, it's never enough. Never enough.
Thank you for the opportunity. Gracias por la oportunidad.
Monica, can you please tell us about the huge event you guys always have on September? Unfortunately, it's going to be online this year, but normally it's huge. If you guys are ever in town in Memphis, it's so nice. It's extremely nice. Monica, please tell us.
Okay. The people who is here, maybe you had the chance, like Felipe, to enjoy the Latin Fest last year. This year, because COVID, don't talk to me about COVID. Because COVID, we have to do it virtual. So my friend who is in Texas, the people who live in Jackson can enjoy this. We're going to have a Saturday. We're going to have samba fusion. So we're going to have music from Brazil. So 15 days, September the 15th to the 30th. Here's an invitation, and we're going to do it live. So I'm going to compromise everybody of you. One day, one day we're asking people to do a recipe from your country. So we've been talking about food, about churrascos, about pastelitos. If you guys can do a recipe, record it and share it with us so we can share it on the festival, will be great. We're asking people to share their abuela's recipe, their grandmother's recipe, with that secret ingredient. And we want to the people know more about our food, our music, our culture, or maybe one of you sings or play an instrument. Please welcome. Remember, our festival is gonna be virtual. It's gonna be on the Casa Teatro Facebook from the 15th to the 30th. We're hoping next year things change and we can have it live and have people come in and be able to dance and to try food and to enjoy themselves in the festival. This year, please take your time to watch the programs that we're going to have every day. And like I say, don't miss Samba Fusion. They're going to be on Saturday. I don't remember exactly the day. Don't mind if you send the information later. I will share it with my friends of Brazil. But if you want to share your recipes, because we've been talking about food, please do. We're really crazy about getting some recipes from another country. And again, gracias. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being there. If somebody wants to say something in Portuguese, you are welcome. Please. We're going to share this in the page of the Brazilians in Memphis. So, do that.
Muito obrigado, Mônica.
Thank you. Obrigada.
Obrigado a todos que assistiram a gente aí, viu? Um abraço. Desculpe se a gente falou alguma coisa que não é muito verdade aí, mas acho que é isso aí mesmo. Um abraço a todo mundo.
Meu
prazer
pai,
conhecer vocês, gurizada, viu? Prazer. Vamos manter o contato aí, tá?
Okay, thank you, amigos. Gracias, and see you next week on Flavors of the Latinx Culture. Adiós, Julia.
Adiós.
Obrigada.
Obrigado.